Two guys stand proudly atop a grassy hill overlooking open lands. The calm silver-haired friend proudly holds up their fluttering white flag, while his buddy grips a heavy shovel. Four adorable weird little animals sit at their feet. Cheering wildly, the hero swings his shovel and slams it hard into the ground. A massive glowing blue magic grid instantly expands across the landscape. The blue grid transforms the surrounding world into a holographic field. Glowing lines shoot skyward as full architectural skyscraper models appear completely. This civil engineer named Lloyd is changing everything. Looking down at his city blueprint, he calls out to his trusty partner Xavier, who responds calmly. Lloyd instantly bursts into an unhinged, crazy laugh, screaming about pure sweet cash. Let's beginning. In a quiet medieval town at night, a guy lies flat on the ground. Suddenly, a shiny system notification pops up right before his eyes, congratulating him on becoming a hero. He stares at the screen in pure disbelief. Another pop-up reveals he has transmigrated as a hero into the fantasy novel Knight of Iron and Blood. He instantly recognizes this novel because he literally finished reading it yesterday. The system notification cheerfully wishes him luck, urging him to try his absolute best. He rubs his head in confusion, wondering what bizarre request this is. He is not even drunk right now. Yet his mind is somehow completely blown by this surreal dimensional transfer. Realizing web novel tropes are actually coming true, he accepts he transmigrated into another fantasy world. He finds himself lying motionlessly right in the middle of a dirt road. As the freezing night wind blows, he suddenly starts trembling violently and notices his face is completely distorted into a hilariously tiny crooked shape. A red warning screen appears, stating his crooked mouth was caused by sleeping on the cold street. Annoyed by the system's ridiculous diagnosis, he slaps the window away and manually adjusts his mouth. He wonders who he became in this weird world, when a mysterious voice calls out to Mr. Lloyd from behind. He turns around awkwardly to see a mysterious figure approaching him in the dark. The stranger wears a blue uniform with a golden sword hilt peeking out from his belt. His silver hair glows softly under the bright moonlight. The calm warrior approaches the surprised brunette, politely requesting him to return to the mansion immediately. This silver-haired warrior is Xavier, the supreme main character of the original novel. Lloyd breaks into a cold sweat upon realizing this calm swordmaster stands right in front of him. He gasps internally as he suddenly remembers his own identity, realizing he is actually that notorious trash noble named Lloyd Fronha. Xavier looks at him calmly, chuckling that Lloyd assessed himself pretty accurately. A pop-up note reveals Xavier looks pleased, making Lloyd internally tell the system to shut up. The scene shifts to a large two-story medieval mansion sitting silently under the dark night sky, while cold wind blows softly through the quiet surrounding trees. Inside the warm mansion, Xavier stirs the fireplace, bringing Lloyd back to safety. Wrapped tightly in a thick blanket, Lloyd is freezing to death after his heavy drinking spree. Xavier explains that Lloyd smashed dishes in the local tavern, got homesick, and collapsed on the dirt road like a pathetic drunk fool today. Lloyd accepts this ridiculous behavior was totally expected from a trashy prankster. Xavier adds that the worried Baron sent him out to rescue his reckless son before he froze to death outside. Finishing his explanation, Xavier turns around and prepares to leave the bedroom, promising to report all of Lloyd's terrible misdeeds tomorrow morning. Lloyd frantically begs him not to snitch, but Xavier remains impenetrable as a stone wall. Xavier slams the door firmly behind him, ignoring Lloyd's strange questions about household lighting. Lloyd lies alone in the dark, reflecting on his bizarre situation as memories of reading the novel's tragic ending flood his hyperactive mind tonight. He recalls lying in his cramped room reading the final chapter on his phone yesterday before waking up here. He knows the terrible fate awaiting this unfortunate family, tricked by evil swindlers. His noble parents will lose everything and commit suicide, driving the original trashy Lloyd to drink himself to death in extreme misery. Lloyd kicks off his blanket and screams in frustration, hating how his new aristocratic life is just as worthless as his old one in Korea. He angrily confronts the floating system screen, demanding to know why he was thrown into this doomed body without any proper warning or legendary cheat abilities to survive this world. Morning comes as warm sunlight illuminates the white mansion walls under the mountains. Xavier walks calmly behind an elegant lady in a white dress, who is asking about Lloyd's tavern chaos last night. She is Lloyd's loving mother. Marbella Frenna, standing nearby, as shabby Lloyd finally accepts the harsh reality of his situation. Marbella anxiously urges her son to go apologize for his reckless behavior. Lloyd instantly agrees, scratching his head with genuine guilt for yesterday's destruction. Marbella and Xavier widen their eyes in absolute shock at his polite response. They never expected this arrogant trash noble to show even a single drop of remorse today. Lloyd and Xavier walk down the bright town street together near loaded straw carts. Every villager shivering on the sidewalk immediately gasps in terror upon spotting Lloyd. People scatter frantically in all directions, hiding behind wooden barrels and slamming their window shutters tight just to avoid eye contact with this infamous local menace. A curious young boy peers outside, but his terrified mother instantly pulls him back indoors, warning him never to look at that dangerous noble. Lloyd walks awkwardly with his hands shoved deep into his pockets, deeply confused by the overwhelming hatred radiating from every single house standing along this quiet medieval street today. A system notification pops up, coldly informing Lloyd that all villagers utterly despise him. Lloyd sighs, admitting he already noticed their intense hatred. He asks Xavier why he is closely following him. Xavier keeps his hand on his sword hilt, stating he is here to protect innocent residents from Lloyd's reckless behavior. Calling himself a complete monster, Lloyd realizes he must fix his reputation to survive. He considers solving his family's massive debt first so he can live in pure luxury as the rightful heir. Hoping for cheat abilities, Lloyd mentally checks the system to see if any hidden skills are available in his profile. The skill menu displays useless traits like worthlessness and drunkard. Furious at these insulting stats, Lloyd angrily punches the floating system menu into the air. Xavier watches in total embarrassment as Lloyd fights thin air, wondering what crazy madness has overcome his young master as they continue walking toward the Wreck Tavern. They arrive at the tavern entrance, where Xavier stops and points at the door, asking if Lloyd's promised apology was just a lie. Lloyd loudly denies it, making Xavier fall silent. Lloyd slowly pushes open the tavern door and steps inside, revealing shattered furniture, cracked walls, and broken trophy skulls scattered across the floor. Stepping inside the Wreck Tavern, Lloyd sits heavily on a chair, loudly declaring to the nervous room that he came to apologize for yesterday's wild pranks. He speaks with unusual respect and politeness, hoping to make amends, completely unaware that his sudden change in behavior is making everyone inside feel extraordinarily uncomfortable and terrified today. A blue system notification window pops up, warning that the bald tavern owner is taking an extremely high alert fighting stance. Realizing his polite tone is scaring the man, Lloyd quickly switches strategies, rudely demanding forgiveness instead. The sweating tavern owner bows frantically in sheer fear, claiming everything is totally fine and no apologies are needed. Staring silently in awkward realization, Lloyd sees his presence causes pure misery, deciding it is best to leave immediately. As they cross a small bridge outside, Xavier speaks up calmly, explaining that all broken dishes were bought with hard-earned blood and sweat, making the poor innkeeper's life extremely painful and desperate in this town. Xavier continues his depressing story, ruining Lloyd's mood even further by revealing that the old tavern owner's sick wife is currently suffering greatly from the harsh winter weather. Without proper heating inside their cold tavern, surviving this freezing season is virtually impossible for the frail elderly couple living on bare dirt floors right now. Lloyd remembers the tavern's single weak fireplace and realizes how hard winter is for elderly people without proper heating. As they walk along the bare dirt road, Lloyd suddenly freezes dead in his tracks. Xavier keeps walking forward, completely unaware that his young master has stopped moving behind him on the cold dirt road today. A brilliant light bulb sparks inside Lloyd's hyperactive mind as a genius idea begins to take root. He stares down thoughtfully while electrical energy surges through his active brain. He realizes that providing efficient heating to the locals is the perfect business opportunity to fix his family's severe financial crisis during this cold winter. Glowing green drafting lines streak through space, rapidly assembling a complex structural diagram. Lloyd visualizes a complete modern underfloor heating system taking shape inside his head. He knows constructing these heated floors will sell insanely well, completely outperforming anything the original trashy noble could ever dream of creating in his entire life on this estate. Lloyd reflects on his former life as Kim Soo-ho, a skilled construction engineer back in Korea. He remembers slaving away on building sites, carrying heavy brick stacks, and constructing entire houses during his army service, armed with extensive civil engineering knowledge. He possesses the ultimate practical expertise to pull off this massive heating project now. Filled with absolute confidence, Lloyd decides to take action and clear his family's massive debt once and for all. He spins around enthusiastically, shouting to the frozen Xavier that they are heading straight back to the tavern to secure their very first official construction order right now, ready to turn this whole town upside down today. A dramatic system notification pops up, officially declaring the start of the hero's real journey. The system announces the relationship point system is now fully activated, explaining that Lloyd can earn valuable reputation points through meaningful interactions with locals. Currently, his total reputation balance stands at a grand total of 0 points today. Lloyd frowns and wonders what on earth these mysterious relationship points actually mean. A shiny system window pops up, revealing that improving relations with main characters earns key rewards. Turning his head slowly, Lloyd notices floating text above Xavier's silver head, coldly displaying an interest level of -30 points right now. Trying to boost stats, Lloyd flashes a smooth smile and loudly compliments Xavier on his striking handsome looks. Unimpressed, Xavier deadpans, causing Lloyd's interest score to immediately drop another point to -31. Lloyd backs off nervously and heads straight into the tavern to pitch his business proposal to the owner. The bold contract states that construction fees will be deducted directly from Lloyd's property damage debt. The innkeeper glares back with a completely stone-cold face, emitting a defensive mental wall skill because he absolutely distrusts this trash noble. Lloyd pursed his lips, realizing he must use a special trick to seal the deal today. Refusing to let his grand blueprint crumble, Lloyd activates his insignificance trait, putting on a ridiculously manipulative face. He insists they will see each other often, so trust is essential. Fooling the gullible innkeeper, the man reluctantly signs the official contract, making Lloyd grin wickedly as his very first deal is locked. Holding a heavy shovel in an open field, Lloyd prepares for initial site construction work. Xavier frowningly accuses him of pure tyranny, claiming he blackmailed the poor innkeeper into signing. Lloyd chuckles and lectures Xavier on cognitive distortion, arguing that past negative experiences and statistics shouldn't blindly dictate future possibilities in life. Xavier listens in absolute silence, completely shocked by how logically this notorious troublemaker articulates his thoughts. Lloyd confidently slams his shovel into the ground, declaring that both the innkeeper and his sweet mother will soon laugh with pure joy, and those very smiles will become the solid foundation of his massive fortune. Lloyd aggressively wields his heavy shovel, kicking off the hard physical construction work. He digs, moves dirt, and compacts the soil repeatedly, hammering nails into thick lumber taken from the mansion's warehouse. He constructs the central frame. He applies local river clay across the structure, rapidly completing the main building frame today. Drenched in sweat, Lloyd collapses onto the dirt, groaning over how weak his body feels. Xavier walks over, surprised by the incredible speed of the construction. He wonders where this reckless noble learned engineering skills and if he actually intends to honor his contract, something previously deemed completely impossible for a rowdy trash like him. Shaking violently from sheer exhaustion, Lloyd stands up, grabs a heavy woodcutting axe, and swings. His body gives out and stumbles backward, but Xavier swiftly catches his hand in midair. Taking the heavy axe away, Xavier asks what timber dimensions are needed, and Lloyd frantically requests wooden boards 1 span wide and 2 tall. Taking control, Xavier effortlessly grabs the axe and tosses massive wooden logs straight into the air, swinging his blade with terrifying precision and bloodthirsty speed. He chops them with a single stroke. Perfect uniform wooden boards rain down onto the grassy ground, showcasing the incredible slicing power of a genuine high-level swordmaster. Lloyd's jaw drops in absolute amazement, instantly giving Xavier an enthusiastic thumbs up. Realizing this elite swordmaster eliminates the need for modern power tools, Lloyd slaps Xavier's shoulder, calling him by name, picking up his shovel. Lloyd asks if Xavier will help dig the remaining trenches once he finishes cutting the remaining timber. Xavier frowns in deep annoyance, realizing Lloyd didn't even thank him and instead dumped more hard labor on his shoulders. A system window reveals Xavier deeply regrets helping out. Lloyd leans in playfully, teasing that Xavier only helped out of pure curiosity to see if this crazy construction scheme would actually succeed today. Convinced by Lloyd's annoying logic, Xavier reluctantly grumbles and submits to the hard physical labor. Although he still finds it impossible to fully trust this trash noble due to his terrible past. Xavier starts digging furiously alongside Lloyd. Sweat pours down their brows as both men dig trenches to finalize the heating project. Wiping his sweaty brow, Lloyd triumphantly raises his shovel and slams it deep into the dirt. He pumps his fist into the air, shouting at the top of his lungs that construction is officially complete. Pointing at a bizarre emblem carved on the wall, Lloyd proudly explains to a confused Xavier that it's his brand's logo. Smirking arrogantly, Lloyd asks Xavier if it's time for the final inspection to see if he truly fooled the poor innkeeper. The gentle wind rustles through the quiet clearing as smoke begins to billow softly from the chimney inside the newly renovated building. The underfloor heating system slowly warms up the entire room. Inside the cozy tavern room, the newly built fireplace crackles softly as thermal heat spreads beneath the floor. The old mother lies comfortably on the warm floorboards, smiling happily as her aching joint pain miraculously fades away. The innkeeper stares in utter disbelief, asking how such magical warmth could possibly exist without magic. Smiling warmly, the old mother remarks that this revolutionary floor heating feels almost like divine magic. The emotional innkeeper bows deeply to Lloyd, expressing heartfelt gratitude for bringing a genuine smile back to his mother's face after so many years. Standing nearby, Xavier opens his eyes in complete shock at this unbelievable transformation. Watching the innkeeper and his mother beam with pure joy, Xavier marvels at how Lloyd actually fulfilled his promise. A shiny system window pops up, announcing that Xavier's interest level has increased by 2 points to -29. Lloyd grins, realizing his first experimental project succeeded, serving as the ultimate promotional building. Even though this initial construction order yielded zero profit, Lloyd knows it was a brilliant marketing strategy. Word of the magical heated floor spreads like wildfire throughout the entire medieval town. Within just a few days, massive crowds of curious villagers gather outside, eager to experience this revolutionary heating technology for themselves. A massive line of eager customers forms right outside the newly built showroom today. A stunned villager steps out, amazed that the cozy heat doesn't melt the house. Lloyd slaps his desk, aggressively pitching custom packages. He offers Model A for outdoor editions and Model B for interior home remodels with an attractive discount. The hesitant customer backs away nervously, but Lloyd uses his relentless charm to push the deal. Suddenly, a deep commanding voice calls out to Lloyd from behind. Turning around, Lloyd spots his father staring coldly at him, while a system pop-up reveals his father's interest level sits at a freezing -20 points.